Best of r/confessions episode 17. Subscribe for edit videos daily. I hate when people I know post videos of them dancing/singing and they suck at it. I'm all for self-empowerment and shit, but whenever someone I know posts this kinda stuff and obviously suck at it, the comments are filled with red heart, you're so good 100-point symbol, hate that fake as shit, it's just embarrassing. Just want to vent this shit out BC. I can't tell anyone without getting called judgmental, which is kinda true, haha. Thank you. Next. I have COVID-19 and it sucks. I got infected working in healthcare, even when wearing a mask. I'm a 31-year male in the American Midwest. I thought it wasn't a big deal, but my god, this virus sucks the strength right out of you. I never got a fever, so my supervisor didn't let me leave work several times, but I had a cough. I'm afraid I infected my co-workers and residents. Lately, I've felt like I have mucus on my lungs and pressure on my chest, but it comes and goes. The muscle pain is horrendous and feeling like you have no energy to move. I know we are all mortal, but this shit does scare me. Please, everyone that reads this, take care to protect yourself. This sickness is real and could kill me or you, no matter your age. Thank you. Next. I told a little girl to fuck off today. Finally able to go to a coffee shop here in my hometown in the UK, and this family are really loud, obnoxious, and the kids, 3 of them are screaming, misbehaving, kicking things, and even though I'm like 10 feet away, this little girl, I guess around 8 years old, keeps coughing at me because I'm vaping. We're all outside, my vape is moving the opposite way to their table, and I'm away from them. She comes up to me and tells me I'm gross for smoking, so I just looked at her and said firmly, fuck off. She whined to her parents, who shot me an evil glance and told me I was a cunt. I don't care. It felt good. Thank you. Next. I was recently diagnosed with DID and I'm afraid to tell my family. For reference, DID is dissociative identity disorder and was previously classified as multiple personality disorder. It's a mental illness characterized by having one or more other identities that you switch between, usually as a coping mechanism for trauma. I, 28F, am the host and I have 2 other identities I switch between. My fiance knows I have it, as he is part of the reason we identified its severity, but I'm still struggling to open up about the depth of what goes on inside of me. It took me years to realize something was off with me, and I think that has been the hardest part of dealing with the disorder. I don't know what reality is. I question all my memories and thoughts. I wonder if I'm even any of the people I am. I thought everyone went through life with huge chunks of their memory missing or heard voices that encouraged them to fulfill their compulsions. I thought everyone fluctuated in their interests and personality traits on a daily basis. The more I started to form relationships with others and peek into their lives, the more I realized something was wrong me. I, the host, have also always been extremely interested in documentaries and non-fiction. 2 of us are also extremely into true crime stories. Combining those led to us consuming lots of media about serial killers and victims of mental disorders from middle school on. It was during these years I learned what I was experiencing was most definitely abnormal, but judging from the way people like that were treated, I had no desire to tell anyone. I was afraid saying something would lead to institutionalization. This fear was further confirmed when my parents, exasperated with my bizarre and all over the place behavior, made me see a psychiatrist. I tried to slip in a few comments about what was really going on, but I backtracked immediately when I was warned things like that could get me hospitalized. He eventually decided I was bipolar and had borderline personality disorder and shoveled meds into me for the next 5 years, which did nothing but make me gain weight and hate myself even more. After 5 years, I quit and resolved to pretend I was fine. I also learned that minimizing our symptoms is a very common thing for someone with DID to do. Strangely, having 3 identities has actually made this easy for me as long as I don't live with whoever I'm pretending to. Navigating voices and compulsions in my head all day and having to constantly parade around under a facade has taught me the art of persuasion. The only tricky part is if they talk to other alters, because we can be pretty distinct in our differences. Sometimes we share the same memories and interests and sometimes we don't. For example, I might watch a movie and love it, then another alter might not know we watched it all, and the third one might know we didn't hate the movie. Naturally, this can get pretty fucking confusing, but it is what it is. Getting my driver's license opened my eyes some more to how large my gaps of memory were. I end up places all the time and don't remember how I got there. I didn't get my license until I was 20 years old, and for the first 2 years of that I barely drove because I was on so much Seroquel I could barely keep my eyes open. When I dropped off the meds at 22 and was able to drive without falling asleep, I was shocked at how often I wound up in locations with no recollection of going there. Then quarantine hit. My job moved to working from home, as did my fiance's. In these past several months stuck at home with each other at all hours of the day, it was a lot easier for my fiance to pick up on something being wrong. While he is aware of the struggles I have, as mentioned earlier, I have never conveyed to someone the extent to which I work to maintain composure as a normal everyday person. My erratic behavior switching between the others all the time started to put a strain on our relationship. I finally researched a bunch of places, found a therapist I think I can trust, and open up about my struggles. It didn't take very long for her to confirm what I had been worried about, that my BPD was really did. Mental illnesses all tend to have some sort of stigma around them. BPD has some bad stigmas, but did is worse. TV shows and movies have done an excellent job portraying a completely unrealistic version of it. Most people don't know when I've switched. It's not like some Jekyll/Hyde transition. Most people don't even know there is anything wrong with me. TV will also act like did means we have an evil alter, and while one of mine idealizes suicide and has violent tendencies, we're not running around trying to harm people. Underneath these other people, I am still trying to prevail as a logical, compassionate, ordinary person. Maybe someday I will be. Thank you. Next. My girlfriend, 23F, doesn't know I, 25M, regularly watch professional wrestling. I'm by all accounts a pretty hip and intellectual guy who has met an incredible partner who has a similar worldview and interests. Our relationship has been very open and honest, and we don't keep any secrets from each other. I don't particularly like many nerdy things, and I don't even play video games anymore, but I'm harboring a dark secret. I watch you every Wednesday night on TNT. I literally make a point of cancelling our dates on Wednesdays with insane excuses so that I can watch episodes. I'm not a typically insecure person, and I enjoy a lot of guilty pleasure stuff that I have no issue admitting my love of. I just can't bring myself to let her know. From the outside it must look like I'm a huge man-child, and I don't expect her to get it. I just love watching the insanity of the show and all of the crazy characters and acrobatic moves. I bought PPVs and will drink beer and holler while watching. It's become this part of my life that I'm ashamed of, and I haven't even admitted it to my friends because I don't think they would get it either. Thank you. Next. I got a hand job from my cousin when we were both kids, and I don't know if she still thinks of it now. I was maybe 12 and she was 9, and we were sitting in the back seats on the way back from the beach. I don't know, I was just so horny and stuff being at the beach, and we basically grew together playing, wrestling and laughing together. I remember getting a hard on, and basically she reached into my pants and stroked up and down saying it's like a handle. So I still see her very often. I'm in my 20s now, have had relationships before, and am very close with her still, and we're not weird together or anything. We see each other a lot and play video games together all the time. But sometimes I can't believe she rubbed me off, and wondering if it's abuse since she was younger than me. We never spoke about it. Thank you. Next. I'm addicted to my phone. My phone addiction, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Tinder, texting, is out of control. It's all consuming. I used to read. I don't anymore. I can't watch TV without my phone. I can't go to the bathroom without my phone. I have wasted so much of my life. It's gross and embarrassing. Every day, I say, today, I will stop it, and I don't.